to talk about goal setting and how to structure your training. So you're going to post a picture today of where you are now. So we're taking accountability of our starting point, and then we're also going to post a picture alongside of it of where we want to be. Having a picture is great to keep you inspired throughout, keep you motivated, know what you're working towards. It's much better than having a goal which is improve my flexibility. It's too vague and it's going to end up making you feel deflated. Finally, we need to be realistic and believe in ourselves when setting these goals. We then need to think about a time frame. So it's good to have short-term and long-term goals. So for example, you could have a goal for the end of the challenge. So for the end of January, your goal might be to have created a consistent training program structure and be training twice a week for flexibility. And then your long-term goal, which is your picture you have, could be to get your splits down on both sides by the end of 2016. We then need to think about how we make these goals achievable. So how we believe in ourselves, but we don't get too overexcited. So they need to be achievable. You need to think about your starting point. You need to think about how you're going to achieve them as well. So how many times are you going to train a week? You're on my challenge, so that means you've got a great starting point already. You're already committing to your flexibility goals. You may think that you're going to change your training slightly. So you might say, I'm going to attend one yoga class a week, one flexibility class at my pole school, and then I'm going to do one session on my own at home a week. So that's a how. And you also need to think about that schedule as well. So for me, writing stuff down really works. I've got really bad memory as well. So writing things down, I use my notes section on my phone, and I'll write down Monday I'm going to do a back session, Tuesday I'm going to do a leg session, Wednesday I'm going to have a rest day, Thursday I teach a flexibility session, so I'm going to join in with that as well, and then I'm going to do one home training session. And sometimes I'll put them in my diary too, so it makes me commit. It's like a important meeting that I can't cancel with myself, and then I can plan stuff around it. So it means that I'm committing to my goals, committing to my training session. You also need to be realistic in that you need to think about your work, social and life, general family commitments. So if you're a busy person already, saying you're going to train 6 times a week is probably unrealistic for you. So you need to find a way that it's going to fit in around those commitments. So for me, if I know that I'm away teaching at the weekends, which happens quite a lot, then I'll move that flexibility session to a Friday, and I'll end up having the weekend off from flexibility because I just can't physically fit it in. But rather than getting frustrated about it, just moving it to another time slot in the week. Also finding ways that you can stretch. So if you watch EastEnders every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whenever it's on, then you could say you're going to do a flexibility session whilst watching that, and then you've already committed to 3 times a week, and it's not taking too much out of your normal daily routine. You also need to factor in rest days as well. So for me, I find that I can do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on and then weekend off, and that works quite well for my body. It gives myself enough rest time, rest and recovery, keeps me motivated. But everybody's different, and if you're just starting out with flexibility training, I would advise trying to have a couple of rest days at least a week. It's great that you're enthusiastic and that you want to start doing it all the time, but it might be unrealistic for your routine, but also for your body to be able to keep up with you to begin with. So bear that in mind when you're creating your structure. We also need a way to track our progress. So as most of you know, I'm a massive fan of progress pictures, and in all honesty, it's something that has really helped keep me going with my flexibility training. Being able to look back and see where I was and do my little collage so they're next to each other has made me feel like it's much more achievable, and it's helped me to keep pushing forward for my next goal that I've set. So progress pictures for me really help. So even if you feel like it doesn't look anything at the moment, just take a picture of it, keep it on your phone. You don't need to look at it until you then feel like you're ready to take another picture, and you can go back to it and have a look. This time next year, I promise you'll be so happy that you've taken those photos. Okay, finally, we need to remember that flexibility is a journey. In all honesty, if someone had told me 3 years ago that it would take me 3-4 years to get where I am now with my flexibility, I might not still be stretching. So it's important just to remember that it is a journey. This is why it's so important to have goals. It's one of the main things that kept me going, was constantly having a goal that I wanted to achieve, whether it was having a straight leg in my ballerina on the pole, and then performing that straight leg ballerina. So just having small goals on the way, and it's never ending because you'll always want more. But having those goals is good because then you can tick them off and move forward. It is tough to keep pushing through sometimes, especially if you're not seeing too much progress. But having that goal, having that picture we spoke about before, is something that you can keep looking back at, keep referring to, and it's going to help you continue and stay motivated. Also, however small the progress is, embrace it. So congratulate yourself. It doesn't matter how much it is. If you can only see a couple of centimetres difference, you know, in your splits down to the floor or something, be happy and enjoy, because you've worked hard to get there. There will also be times of no progress. Your body will plateau for whatever reason. It might need a bit of a break. It might need you to freshen up your training and just change it up slightly. So it's good to review all the points that we've kind of been through then. Have you committed 100% to your training? Do you need to train more? Do you need to maybe train less and have a few more rest days? And yeah, are you keeping it fresh and fun? So are you still motivated? Do you still want to achieve that goal, or have you gone in a different direction? So it's always good to look back over it and ask yourself the questions and review where you're going.